Alright guys, I went to see Thunderbolts there yesterday. I just thought I'd just quickly give my thoughts on it. I just sort of made some notes just so I can sort of stay on track a little bit, but generally really enjoyed it. It was way better than what I thought it would be. I was really looking forward. We're looking forward to this film. Just because I really like the actors that are in it, like Florence Pugh, big fan of her, and see here. Yeah, director Jake Schreier, the writers Eric Pearson and Joanna Cale and Kurt Busiek, and it stars Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Julia Louis Dreyfus, and I just made some quick notes, so I just want to sort of stay on track. But yeah, I immediately moved to. Oh yeah, just this is definitely not a non-spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the film, definitely get a chance to go and see it, and then come back just to hear what I thought about it. But yeah, I immediately write about the end scene where Florence sort of closes her eyes. There's like there's a shot where she once they sort of reveal that they're the new Avengers. There's a close-up shot of Yelena, and she sort of it's close-up shot. She sort of closes her eyes like that, and I sort of think this is meant as a kind of a sincere sincerity, and to sort of absolve herself, to forgive herself of her sins, like, or let go. She's now a hero. What is interesting was Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow seemed to be more of a hypersexualized character. You know, with the sort of skin tight, like leather suit, sort of more appealing to men and women as well. Extremely attractive. Deadly and attractive, whereas Florence Pugh is very attractive, but she's not as highly sexualized, it seems. She's sort of more sort of baggy, more sort of military gear, though she looks fantastic. I thought I generally really loved these actors. I just loved hanging around with them, or being with them, or seeing them on screen. I just like Sebastian Stan, David Harbour. What I found interesting was I liked that for me, US Agent. I wasn't super big on US Agent, but in this film I seem to find myself liking him more and more, especially when the fight scene where they're all lured to kill each other in the basement of this facility. They sort of help each other out to save themselves, and I like that US Agent. He comes across as a jerk, but then he becomes more likable. And we see Bob. Bob is Sentry. Turns out to be Sentry. He's cool in this. He becomes really likable, and then we'll get to the Void later. The Void's really good. The scene where they escape. What I thought was interesting is that Taskmaster is killed off early on in this scene where they're in the bunker. So maybe this is supposedly behind the scenes drama or something like that. She's just killed, shot dead, and it's close up of blood coming through her head. She's just shot dead in the head by US agents. Just bang, gone. She's gone. She's definitely gone. There's a close up of her head, and like the blood coming out, so that's like she's gonzo, you know, she's just gonzo. So they escape. Ghost has really cool powers. This dead is just washed away. It's not really a big deal for them, so she's just gone. But the fight scene in that bunker is really cool. Ghost has really cool powers where she can kind of go through walls and stuff. She comes across as really likable as well. And they're escaped by the corporation that is at the front door, and they escape because they disguise themselves as the soldiers. And this is where Sentry sort of becomes aware of his powers, he becomes to really like these ragtag misfits. There's a bit where they have to escape through a broken lift, and they sort of go up this pipe where they truly have each other's backs, because they have to shimmy up this pipe, you know, and so he becomes fondness with them. He's an experiment by this corporation to become like a godlike figure, really super powerful, but all these people have been killed off. He survives. I can't believe he survived with these powers, and his powers are realised because all these soldiers are shooting at him, and he sort of flies into the sky. It's a really cool shot where he flies into the sky, and that's an awesome scene. So he's taken in by the corporation again, played by the head is Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I'm generally a big fan of her, just like her in general, you know. She's great here. She has a really cool look. Actually, I love her hair. She looks like a version of Rogue or something. I don't know. She comes across as very, very likable. Generally always a fan of her. I'm just a fan of all these actors. I like, you know, Sebastian Stan. They just come across as really likable. David Harbour, especially as Red Guardian, is a cool scene where at the end, so he's revealed to be Sentry, and like Julia Louis-Dreyfus. What was her character's name? Oh my God, I can't remember what her name is in the show, but she's helping Sentry sort of Bob reveal his powers, become Sentry, and there's a really cool bit where Julia sort of lures all the characters to the top of Avengers Tower, this new repurposed Avengers Tower, and Sentry sort of arrives, and she has control over him, but she's put a kind of kill switch in his head just in case he turns on them. And of course he does, but there's a really cool scene of the Thunderbolts, and they all fight him, and that's an awesome scene. This is why people are saying Marvel is kind of back, you know. I can totally see it's a really cool scene where he's fighting them. That's an awesome scene. I'm definitely planning to go see this again for sure. But after this, he beats them all, and the Thunderbolts leave sort of defeated, and then they go into the street, and Sentry turns on Julia, and she has her by the throat, and she has a switch to kill him off just in case he was going to turn on them. So she hits this switch. No, Sentry hits it out of her hand, but luckily enough, her assistant is in the background, and she hits this switch and kills off Sentry, and he's lying on the ground. They all leave, but of course, he actually comes alive again. He turns black. That's why people were saying this movie is sort of depressing, because he turns into the void, a sort of blackness, or a sort of hole in space, or sort of a black hole version of a character. Like, but there's a really cool street scene of the Thunderbolts where they're saving civilians. This classic sort of Avengers where they save civilians. It's really, really cool. Where they band together. Oh yeah, I mentioned there must be behind the scenes drama around Taskmaster character. The Taskmaster character is just straight off killed. Oh, Yelena is quickly becoming a favourite female character of mine through this film. I'm just generally a fan of Florence Pugh. It's interesting that she's not highly sexualized in this film. The character, as much as Scarlett Johansson's was, but obviously she's very attractive, incredibly attractive woman. Like, growing fondness for the U.S. agent that I thought was interesting. Oh, the scene in Void makes him more likable. The scene in the Void. Okay, so the Void, when he turns into the Void, people go into the Void, they're sort of replaying their traumatic events in their life. And I guess that was really interesting, really sort of abstract idea that Bob, or just regular Bob, is sort of in there and the Void is sort of taking control, and they need to escape, and they sort of escape through friendship. That's kind of corny, but I thought it was good. Like, but there's a scene in The Void for the U.S. agent where he's sort of at home, and he has to look after his child, and he sort of realizes he's reading articles about him. He was a hero, and now he's not a hero. And I just think that was set up to make him more likable, because he's taken the mantle of Captain America. They're big shoes to fill, so I think they put it in there to say, hey, look at this guy, you know, we're going to humanize him. I ended up, it was effective. You end up liking him more. Really cool scenes, really cool fight scenes in the bunker where they escape was really great. They come together to turn on Julia's character. Yeah, incredible fight scenes, the bunker, and the New Avengers Tower. And then I just talked about end credit scenes. So the mid credit scene is where they've become the Avengers, or they band together. They save the Void by going into the Void and rescuing Bob by banding together and telling him that he's not alone. He's truly not alone. So saves him and brings him out of it. I thought it was cool, really cool. And then they go after Julia, and then Julia, they sort of go through a tarpaulin, and there's like press set up, and it's going to reveal that they're the New Avengers. You know, that's why it has the asterisks. They're the New Avengers, and I thought it was really cool. The mid-crowd scene is where David Harbour is in a shop, and he sort of sees the Avengers, them on a packet of cereal. You know, like they're on the lunchbox. You know, they're on the packet of cereal. You know, and he's like looking at this. David Harbour is just really likable. I always liked him. The Red Guardian's just a really cool character. And the post-credit scene right at the very end is where they're all in the Avengers Tower, and Bob's there, but he doesn't want to. He's relegated himself to the bench. He doesn't want to become the Void anymore. The Void was really cool. He's just a blackness, and he's flying in the sky, and he's like zapping people, and they all like turn to blackness. They all go into the Void, I guess, for like soul searching kind of thing. What else was good? I made a quick note of Violet McGrath. I'm generally a fan of her since Megan. I'm looking forward to Megan 2.0. I never mentioned. I thought her hair looked really good in the Megan trailer. She's just perfect, and here she was great as well. Just great to see her. Like, I'm looking forward to Megan and Megan 2.0, and the final end credit scene is they're all in the Avengers Tower. And they get a notification that a spaceship has entered the scene or come through a warp gate or something, and it reveals that it's the Fantastic Four ship. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to the Fantastic Four. I'm actually watching The Last of Us. I like the scene, the episode 2. I won't go into it here, but The Last of Us is a very compelling show. It's getting a bit of heat over the scene, air quotes, the scene, but yeah. So this ship is revealed that it's the Fantastic Four. So maybe the New Avengers will team up with the Fantastic Four. So that's really exciting. These are just quick thoughts. I always make these videos, and I always feel like I should have said something else, or I forgot to say something, but. Just quick thoughts. Very good. The fight scenes were really good. Yelena becomes more and more likable as they go along. I've always liked her character. I'm always a fan of Florence from Dune, and in this as well. Hawkeye, she was really cool, really funny. The braids are really cool. Just a really likable character. And Sebastian Stan, really likable. But the driving scene was really cool, where they're in the Red Guard, they're in this limo. And they're getting shot down by these soldiers, but they're saved technically. The Winter Soldier wants to attack them, but then he sides with them. That was a really cool scene. Generally, really enjoyed this film. Really enjoyed this film. These are just quick thoughts on the movie. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content. I want to do more reviews. But thanks very much for watching. if you did, and I will catch you in another video. So see you then. Bye.